Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. All right, are we ready to go? Amber?
Yes, you're good to go.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the September 22nd Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Is there anyone in the audience, in live?
There's not.
Okay. All right. Can we please take a moment for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, for which republic,
for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. All right, first item of business is item number 3, approval of the planning and zoning regular minutes of August 25th, 2020.
Chairman, do you need to do a roll call? Attendance?
Okay. Yes, go ahead and do that, please, Amber.
Okay, Scott Moorhan,
Present.
Ron Rice, John McKinley,
Present.
Tim Bowers, he's there. Danny Bryant,
Present.
Matias Rosales,
Present.
Alicia Zermano, I see her. Gary Black, Wayne Idy,
Here.
Paul White. Chairman, you do have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, item number 3, approval of the August 25th Planning and Zoning Commission meetings. Did everybody get a chance to review those minutes?
So moved.
Yes.
Okay, so I believe we have a motion. Any questions or discussion regarding the minutes? Hearing none. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a second. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Chairman,
Item
who was the
number-
first and second on that?
I
I
am ready.
believe it.
Wayne.
Thank you.
All right, item number 4, rezoning case number 2015. Staff?
Hey, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Juan Leal Rubio, Senior Planner with the Planning and Zone Division. Let me share my screen here. Give me a sec. Do you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let me go to the PowerPoint. Okay, so this is rezoning case number 2015. This is a request by Adrian Vega, acting as an agent for Halifax Investments, requesting to rezone a parcel 10.0 gross acres in size from RA10 to SSB2. The property is located in the Yuma Mesa planning area in the vicinity of the northeast corner of Avenue 5E and County 14.5 Street. And the intent is to create 5 parcels for residential development. You see on the screen a parcel 11 crosshatch zone RA10 and the surrounding uses and zoning. To the north, you have SSB3, which is the Goldwater Ranch subdivision, currently a site-built home. Parcel 7-8 also within the Goldwater Ranch subdivision, but zone SSB2. To the west, you have parcel 10, which was recently rezoned to SSB2. And to the north and to the east, we have parcels 5, 19, 18, and 17 within the city of Yuma municipal boundaries and also within the very Goldwater range. This is the layout that the applicant is proposing. As you can see, 5 lots, which access off of Avenue 5B. And this is an aerial imagery. This picture is probably 5, 6 years old. You'll see Goldwater to the north. You'll see desert to the west, to the east, to the south. And the property currently, well, it's no longer in ag, it's fallow land, both the subject property and the one to the west. This is looking north at the subject parcel from the County 14.5 Street alignment. This is looking east at the dirt road along the south. I believe that would be the County 14.5 Street alignment. And this is looking west from the subject property. This is looking south towards the Berry Am Goldwater range. And we did not receive any comments from surrounding property owners. Staff is recommending approval of this rezoning case with the following performance conditions: that within 60 days of board approval, the owner or agent shall provide a RS 12-34 waiver and record the following disclosure statements: infrastructure schedule for development, agricultural, and the range disclosure statement. If approved, also staff is recommending the following schedule for development: that within 1 year of approval by the board and prior to approval of the land division permit, the owner will obtain a grading permit from our department to improve the easement depicted on the site plan submitted by the applicant with a standard B type road. The eastern end of the easement shall also contain a means for emergency vehicles to turn around, and that will be in accordance with the International Fire Code and the Yuma County policies. Number 2, within 1 year of approval by the board and prior to the approval of the land division permit, the owner shall construct a left turn lane along Avenue 5E pursuant to Yuma County standards and specifications. Number 3, within 1 year approval by the board, the property shall be split in accordance with the site plan submitted by the applicant by means of a land division permit pursuant to the Yuma County zoning ordinance, and also an ingress and egress easement 20 feet in width along the center of the subject properties, and also irrigation easements along the property line shall be recorded along the north property line. Number 4, within 1 year approval by the board, the owner shall submit certification from a licensed engineer confirming that the roadway is built according to the standard B, penetration and chip seal, and that all lots shall be provided with means of irrigation and access to irrigation water prior to development of any of the existing parcels. You'll need a letter from the irrigation district confirming that the irrigation system is satisfactory. And that concludes staff's presentation. I'm ready to entertain any questions.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Hey, John McKinley, those are some pretty rigorous schedule for development items. Is everyone in agreement with those?
That's where we're heading for. The next question. Does anyone have any questions for staff from the commissioners?
No.
All right.
At this time.
Okay.
No.
All right. Hearing no other comments, do we want to we'll open this up to the public? If anyone's in the public that would like to speak for, against, or comment on this project, please state your name, address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Rosales. This is Barry Olson on behalf of Halifax Investments. And as to the schedule for development, the issue that I have is with schedule for development number 2, the left turn lane. That pretty much makes this an unfeasible project. I've spoken with Dal Robbins, our engineer, as to what that might cost. This property already has access on the south side, which is where the property has legal access. But in looking at this parcel, our thought was the parcel to the west has a road coming in off of 5E that seemed like it would be practical just to extend that into the 5 acres or the 10 acres that we're developing. But if you're gonna require left, and they're doing that as an accommodation. So basically, if it didn't cost them any more money, they're willing to do that to provide us with access. But there's no, if we have to tag on the cost or tack on the cost of this left-hand turn lane, we're better off just to go to the south where that existing easement is, which creates 2 access points off of 5E. Doesn't seem practical, but economically that would be better for us, and go with our original plan of coming along the south side of that property to the west, and then coming up into the middle of our 10 acres and having a little cul-de-sac there. But that's our biggest concern, is it's scheduled for development number 2.
Thank you. Thank you. Staff, can you clarify on item number 2, the reason for the left turn and so forth?
But Chairman, that's something that the engineering department is asking for. I'll let Arturo entertain that question. I can also show you on the screen the alternative that they're proposing. If you don't mind me, I can share that screen.
Juan, can you put up the original layout, and then I'll have you put up the new layout, and I'll respond to the question?
Sure, hold on.
Mr. Chairman, this is Maggie Castro, Planning and Zoning Director. The image that that Juan is sharing at this time on the screen shows the proposed lots for rezoning case 20-15. Juan,
Is it not shared?
you're showing the
We're
picture.
seeing your 1970s.
Oh, I'm sorry.
70s sticker.
The Sonny Sheriff.
Sorry about that, Mr. Chairman.
There you go.
No worries.
So this is the initial layout that was being proposed by the developers. Developer shows 5 lots, parcels A, B, C, D, and E. The intent was to extend the cul-de-sac that was proposed to be built on the parcel to the 10-acre parcel to the west. That parcel was also proposed to be split into 5 lots. The reason that staff is recommending that a turn lane be constructed along 5E was that both of these requests will result in a total of 10 lots being accessed directly off of 5E. Today, the developer submitted a new layout. And Juan, can you put the new layout up?
Sure.
Okay. So the 5 parcels that are on this map, on the right side of the map, that is the revised layout that the developer is proposing. The intent is to access the lots from alignment of County 14.5 Street along a private access easement, and then the 5 lots would be accessed through a cul-de-sac, the middle of the lots running north and south. If this proposal is accepted by the Planning and Zoning Commission, staff would recommend that the requirement for the turn lane off of Avenue 5E not required by the Planning and Zoning Commission. They'll still be required to obtain an encroachment permit when they access Avenue 5E from the alignment of County 14.5 Street, but at that point, the turn lane would not be required.
Thank you, Ms. Castro. But is the layout, the new proposed layout in response to the requirement for item number 2 on the first layout, or is that after the fact? Mr. Olson, or
Yeah,
engineer, or applicant?
It's in response, it's the alternative to what we were originally proposing. So we came up with this site plan, which is what we were looking at when we first looked at the property. But then after seeing what was going on to the west, thought, well, that doesn't make any sense. Let's just have one road coming in for these two different developments. And I've got history here because, you know, those of you that have been on the commission for a while, remember when we used to have all of these developments going on out on the South Mesa, and we had dust control issues, unpaved roads, and what a mess that was. We've gotten to the point now where, okay, this project will have paved roads and access. We don't have those issues anymore. We've got the irrigation water. We've come a long way. It just seems like to now add a left turn lane off of 5E to get back to this property makes no common sense. Because if you look at it, if we go with this proposal that's on the screen now, you basically have the same thing. 10 lots in that area. One requires a turn lane, the other one doesn't. To me, having one access point makes the most sense, but not at the cost.
This is Arturo Alvarez with Engineering Division. The original submittal included the extension of a cul-de-sac, which will be more or less approximately 10 lots. Juan, can you show the exhibit that shows the Goldwater Ranch north of this project? Goldwater Ranch is a 9-lot subdivision. Keep in mind, this is a 10-lot project. The project to the north was required to do a turn lane along 5E because of the high velocity speed limit along that area. And you would have to have the vehicles get off the travelway in order to access the 9 lots. This creates 10 more lots along the same road. And therefore, we do made a requirement if it's approved that they would trigger a left turn lane along 5E as a safety precaution in case there's an accident or something might happen because of you increase the number of lots. Now, the other exhibit that was given to us around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock today that shows the south side. If the wish of the developers to do this layout, that yes, we would retract the left turn lane along the along 5E. We have a lot of projects within the county. There are 9 lots, 10 lots, which have all included a turning lane along the access point to the projects. It's to us, it's a safety issue to get the vehicles out of the travelway at 5E, being that it's 50 miles. I believe it's posted as 50 miles per hour. And more likely vehicles are going higher speeds than that.
Okay, so that answers the original question. So the requirement of a 5E is for the high traffic possibility to turn left into the subdivision to create that buffer lane. Okay, that makes sense.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Mr. Rubio, do you have a satellite picture of that area again?
I do. Let me get that on the screen.
All right, thank you. Okay, so, all right, so we have development that's going on just to the west of your highlighted area, which is the Orange Groves. So to the north is where you're saying that's Goldwater Grove or whatever it is.
That's correct.
Okay, so what's on 14 and a half, just further to the west of that? There's another cul-de-sac, almost looks the same setup.
I believe that was a lot split. It came by itself.
Okay. And that looks like that's feeding several lots.
Well, that's only the lot split is only for 5 lots, I believe.
If we're talking about safety, if we have 2 entrances, isn't that seems to me that that's probably more of a safety issue than having 1 entrance. I don't know, I think that the one entrance personally would be the better way to go. But you're saying, Mr. Olson, that it's the left turn lane that is the issue?
Yeah, Mr. Ivy, because you get into not only the construction cost, but those of you who've done any construction know that one of the more expensive things that we keep encountering is traffic control, because you got to shut down the street. You got to get traffic control, and that's not cheap. And so that adds a significant cost. But, you know, going back to your point, if you're going north on Avenue 5E, flipping this around on the satellite map, and then you're going down west on County 14.5 Street, I don't see a left-hand turn lane there. And you got just as many lots there.
This is Arturo again. We approved the project to the west of the current one, which is also a 5-lot split. 5-lot splits we normally don't require any offsite improvements because there's only 5 lots. When you increase that 5-lot threshold, then that becomes an issue. And also because of the speed limit there.
Oh.
Now we have other, like I previously stated, there's other projects that included a left-hand lane.
Well, I think there's some other areas in the county that don't have a turn lane there.
Yeah, but if we go back at other areas and the stuff that's done in the past, right now we're talking about safety moving forward with the commission and with the project here. If the applicant has no issues in doing the second option that got submitted today, do you guys have any concerns on that, or?
You just have a plan B. I'm not so sure that there's a plan that they don't like plan A.
Well,
Yeah.
my point on that is it just seems like plan A has all the common sense to it. Plan B, we can do it. I don't get the logic. You still have 10 homes built on that side of Avenue 5E. If you use one entrance, it requires a left turn lane. If you use two, it doesn't require a left turn lane. It just doesn't make common sense.
You're increasing the number of lots on that entry point at that junction. And you're creating a long cul. But my understanding that the developer was gonna pursue option B.
Well, we'll do option B. I don't have a problem doing that. I'm just trying to point this out because, I mean, I've been doing this a long time.
I hear what you're saying, Mr. Olson, but you know, when it comes down to a 5E north and south, I get staff also as well. You know, speed is faster there. You're going to be turning in. I mean, if we get into the details of 10 lots, 4 cars per average household, you know, there's too many variables there. If we have an easy option to fix it, then get rid of that option. If you're okay with it, I don't know. I get your logic and I understand, but you know, I see both ends of it because I've seen these traffic reports, I've seen this stuff, and then what happens in the future when someone else develops the parcel to the east or something or whatever needs to be done. I don't know. If you're okay with option B and
Mr. Chairman.
gets it done and we'll promote. Go ahead, Mr. Bryant.
Yeah, I just want to follow up a little bit and make sure that I'm understanding this right. Option A, the one that the developer would prefer, is it just because we have a regulation, because there's some other lots that are going to be affected, or is it more safe to go to option B? I mean, I think
more safe to go to option B.
Okay, and developer has an engineer in the house. Does the developer's engineer feel that way?
So this is Kevin Dahl with Dahl Robinson Associates. So again, there's no threshold, there's no criteria for it, you know. So we can drive around the county, and we can drive around and see where there's turn lanes, and we can see where there's not turn lanes. So we've always been taught to minimize points of access, points of conflict. So if it's 5 lots or 10 lots, it makes no difference. You know, the peak hour is one vehicle per hour. So we're talking 1 vehicle every 6 minutes at the peak hour. You're not going to gain anything substantial by going to 2 accesses. It just doesn't make any sense. But I mean, we're at the mercy of engineering at this point.
But from your perspective, Mr. Dahl, you don't see this as a safety issue?
So we pointed out, or it's been pointed out, right to the west of here, there's a 5-lot land division, or lots, but whatever you want to call it. Plus there's a half a dozen lots right next to it. There's no turn lane there.
Mr. Chairman? I'd like to.
Yes, Ms. Castro. Yes, Ms. Castro, go ahead.
Okay, so if we're using the lots on the west side of Avenue 5E as reference, all those lots that are being used as a point of reference done before the land division permit requirements. They were done just as they were created just through simply recording deeds. They were not created through the land division permit process. Had they been created through the land division permit process, it's very likely that improvements would have been required. We have examples of similar developments along Avenue 4E, in which 2 10-acre lots were created or were split and resulted in a total of 10 lots. And in those instances, because the lots were on a major thoroughfare or on a section line road, we did require turn lanes off of the section line road. That is why we're requiring turn lanes on this development if they go with the initial layout that was proposed by the developer. Because they stated that the improvements are cost prohibitive or are burdensome, they would rather use the layout that was submitted this afternoon to develop the property.
Commissioner, Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Bryant, just to finish my thought is that regardless of how those lots are created, you can research all the records you want to research. A 5-lot land division or a 10-lot development, it's not a land division, doesn't warrant a left turn lane. It's just, I mean, so we're minimizing the access points, and that's so you're gonna have 2 access points that has the same amount of traffic. There's still 10 lots here. You can't get away from that. It's just 2 different access points. It's semantics. It doesn't make any sense. Well, so but that's just, so I'm saying it doesn't make any sense, but the developer has agreed to do option B. So
Mr. Dole, if I understand what you're saying is that the lots, if they use option B, they're still going to go down.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Bryan, if I understood your question, they still have to turn left on 5E.
To 5E and jump on 5E, just the same as they would if you used option A.
Correct.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the only difference would be if the commission goes with option B is there'll be 2 access points within approximately 400 feet of each other accessing Avenue 5E versus 1 access point for the 10 lots.
Which, this is up to again, which meets the minimum distance of access to an arterial street. Should be advised that the property to the north, that Goldwater Ranch, did a left turn lane along the same 5E, and it's only 9 lots, it's not 10 lots.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, this is Barry Olson. There's just one other comment that I think is being missed here. And I think Mr. Dahl kind of started a good point. Look at this area of the county. If you basically get much farther south than this, remember 5E goes down, then it dead ends, I think, at County 16th. So you really can't do much development to the south and to the east of this property anyways. If this was 3E, I wouldn't be arguing with you. But on 5E, this far south, to me, it just doesn't make any sense because that area is very restricted on development because of the restrictions around the range. So that's something I think we're missing here. But again,
Yeah, I agree with you there, but I've been through there and I see a lot of traffic heading down on 5E, turning right to get down to other parts of the county. So I understand staff because of the high velocity that those cars go down on 5E, 4E, 3E. I agree. I totally agree. But we all know, and I'm in the South County and I've gone through 5E to cut through there on County 16. And I'm just thinking of what's going to happen 5 years from now, 6 years from now. But again, it's up to the commission and I see both points of it. So I'm just playing devil's advocate here. So I'll bring it back to the commissioners if anyone has any questions or no more further comments or questions. If staff.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. Good.
No, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, depending on which way the Planning and Zoning Commission goes on this request, if the commission goes with option B, then staff, I'm in the process of revising the schedule for development for your consideration. Or you can go with option one and keep the schedule for development that was suggested by staff, or you can also modify that schedule for development.
Yeah, if I could, I would like to make a motion.
Okay, go ahead, mister. Sorry, go ahead.
20-15, I believe it was option 1 to come in from the west to the east and to exclude requirement number 2, left turn lane.
Thank you, Mr. Eddie. I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Okay, we got a motion second. Any further comments or questions from commissioners? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, any nays? Hearing none, motion passes. So that would be with, sorry?
What was the motion?
The motion was option A, the first option presented with the exception of item condition number 2.
So you're removing the electional requirement?
Yes.
Correct, per the motion by Mr. Ide and the second by Mr. Bryant.
Mr. Chairman, I understand the motion. It'll be forwarded to the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you, Ms. Castro.
You're
All right, thank you guys. Any other questions on this item? Oh, all right. Item number, thank you, applicant and engineers.
thank you.
Item number 5, discussion by commission members and plan directors that attended current events or scheduled for future planning commissioner meetings. Not much out there. Anyone have anything to bring up in regards to events or meetings?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Bryan.
just a renewal of staff. Have we made any more progress on when we'll be doing in-person meetings again?
Mr. Chairman, until the health director changes the social distancing requirements, we will not be making any changes to how meetings are conducted. At this time, we have not heard any changes coming forward from the health director.
Thank you, Ms. Castro. Any other events, questions? Hearing none. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.